All right, let's jump right in. When you're starting a business, it really all boils down to two critical pieces: the idea itself and, well, you, the founder. Our goal here is to get you from just a cool idea to a truly validated business concept. And to do that, we first have to tear down some really popular but really bad advice. You've heard this a million times, right? Follow your passion. It's on coffee mugs, it's in graduation speeches, it's everywhere. But honestly, for a new entrepreneur, this might be the single most dangerous piece of advice you can get. It feels good, sure, but it's a siren song that so often leads you straight to building a business nobody actually wants to pay for. I mean, just look at the contrast here. On one side, you've got the feel-good myth. On the other, you've got what the data actually shows. The most successful startups, they almost never come from someone's hobby. They come from headaches. They solve painful, recurring, often professional frustrations. So let's be super clear about this. Your passion is absolutely vital. It's the fuel that's going to get you through the tough times. But it is not market validation. It doesn't prove that even one person will open their wallet for what you're building. Okay, so if we're not chasing passion, where do we look? Simple, we follow the problems. It's time to install a whole new operating system for how you look at the world, one that helps you systematically spot the business opportunities that are hiding in plain sight all around you every single day. And this right here is that system. We call it the friction log protocol. It's a really simple three-step mission. First, for the next 24 hours, you're a friction hunter. Your job is to document every single little annoyance, every inefficient process, every clunky tool you have to deal with. Next, you take that list of problems and you cross-reference it against your own unique skills. And finally, you apply a quick filter to see if a paying market might even exist for a solution. Now, that last filtering step is absolutely crucial. You need a fast and, honestly, a ruthless way to weed out the weak ideas before you get all emotionally attached to them. That's exactly what the quick feasibility check is designed to do. Think of this less like deep market research and more like a bouncer at the club for your time and energy. You're going to run your top ideas from your friction log through these 5 simple yes or no questions. Is the problem real? Does it happen all the time? And you really want to pay attention to number 3. Are people already paying money to solve it? That's the single best indicator that you found a real market. Be brutally honest here. A no isn't failure. It's the gift of saving yourself a ton of time and money. And the rule of thumb here is simple and ruthless. If your idea gets a no on 2 or more of these questions, you don't try to force it. You don't try to justify it. You just thank it for its time, you shelve it, and you go right back to your friction log. The whole point of the system is to generate a lot of ideas so you can filter down to the few that are truly worth your time. Okay, time to pivot. We've pressure tested the idea. Now comes the hard part. We have to pressure test the single most important variable in this entire equation: you. Because a validated, brilliant, market-proven idea is completely and totally worthless if it doesn't line up with the reality of the person who actually has to build it. A great idea in the wrong hands is a guaranteed failure every single time. This is your personal reality check. The founder assessment forces you to get brutally honest about 4 key areas. First, your skills. What can you actually do? Second, resources. What time, capital, and connections do you have right now, today? Third, risk tolerance. What can you truly afford to lose, both personally and financially? And finally, commitment. How many hours, week in and week out, can you realistically dedicate to this thing? And this, right here, is the bottom line. You could have the best idea in the world, but if it requires 60 hours a week and you only have 10, or if it needs a ton of capital and you're bootstrapping, it's the wrong business for you, right now. The idea has to fit the founder, not the other way around. Period. So by following this system, you've actually made a huge leap. You've moved beyond those fuzzy, vague passions, and you've now generated concrete, problem-based concepts that are already pre-vetted for both market potential and founder fit. And the result isn't just a gut feeling, it's tangible. You should now be looking at 3 to 5 solid business concepts that actually survived the filters. And you have your completed worksheets, your friction log, and your personal assessment as hard data to back up your choices. This is how you build a business on a foundation of reality, not just hope. So here's your mission. You need to complete these 2 documents. Then identify the 1 or 2 strongest ideas that made it through this whole process. And get ready, because in the next module, we're going to take your top contender and put it through a real stress test, a full-blown SWOT and gap analysis, to see if it can really handle strategic pressure. Look, you now have a repeatable system for finding and validating opportunities. This is a process you can use for the rest of your entrepreneurial career. The abstract idea has become a concrete plan. So the only question left is, what problem will you solve first?